In a major change of priority and focus, stimulus checks and stimulus relief is scheduled to be Congress's highest priority this coming week. Hello, and welcome to today's November 4th second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of the Senate says Congress's highest priority next week will be getting a stimulus relief package done. Conservative Democrats are expected to apply additional pressure on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to get a stimulus check done quickly for the people. Now, if you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now. All right, now I would love it if you would like this video and share it today, because this is some of the most positive and important stimulus news that I've read in about 2 weeks. And I'm excited to go over it with you because it looks like both sides are now getting on board with the fact that the American people and the American economy need additional stimulus. Okay, now in a change of events, probably just with the election being over, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said today, Wednesday morning, that his top priority and the top priority of the Senate will be to pass a stimulus package before the year 2020 is over, citing that this must get done now. Mitch McConnell said, "I've said repeatedly for the last few months, we need another rescue package." He then said, hopefully the partisan passions that prevented us from doing another rescue package will subside with the election. And I think we need to do it, and I think we need to do it before the end of the year. So he has definitely had a change, right? Now, he's the guy that said, let's take a wait and see approach into July, and then from July on, it's just been gridlock between the two parties. Then President Trump issued the executive orders, and Pelosi and Mnuchin started negotiating again. But with the presidential election, they just haven't been able to make real progress. But now we're hearing from the Senate side again, saying it's time to get something done. Now, he ended this interview or conference meeting, whatever you want to call it, by saying, I think that it's job number one when we get back. Hopefully, we get a more cooperative situation than we've had. Basically saying, hey, listen, your party doesn't have to try to look like they're not giving President Trump a win. We don't have to look like we're not giving in to a big budget or blocking you. All the stupid political games that are going on, he is saying, hopefully those are off the table, right? Now, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I think Nancy Pelosi went too big, and I think Mitch McConnell went way too slow. And but it looks like he's now coming around, and he's a big part of getting the Senate on board. Now, remember, deals have been passed in the House of Representatives, but then they've been blocked in the Senate. So we need the Senate on board if something is going to get done. Now, this is a big deal because before the election, the Senate tried unsuccessfully to pass a stimulus deal 3 separate times, but they were blocked by Democrats in the Senate, okay? Now, Senate Republicans attempted to pass what are called skinny bills, and they were a little too skinny, but in an attempt to break the gridlock between Mnuchin and Pelosi over the $2.2 trillion package and get money out to schools, to PPP, to unemployment, they were trying to get packages out to where they felt both parties had an agreement, but ultimately it was still blocked in the Senate. Now, Mitch McConnell said, or rather admitted, that he would lack support before the election to do such a large package, but now he might be able to get something through so long as it is under $2 trillion. One of the main reasons McConnell's skinny bills failed to gain traction in the Senate is because they did not include stimulus checks or money for state and local government aid. Without those two, the bills were just too skinny in the Democrats' eyes, and so therefore they ended up blocking it. Okay? Now, Mitch McConnell said, what I'm saying is, I think now that the election is over, the need is there, right? This need for stimulus and the need to sit down and work it out is also there. So he is now saying, hey, the election's over. You put down your weapons, we'll put down our weapons. Let's come to the table and start talking again. Now, remember, there are bad feelings between Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi over the impeachment situation of 2019. Because of this, Mitch McConnell voluntarily kept himself out of the negotiation between Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. I think that might have been a mistake. I think that he should have stayed involved. He was the one that drafted the original CARES Act, but he stayed out of it. I'm not here to justify or explain why. I'm just telling you he stayed out of it, right? So now perhaps he's ready to jump back in so that a stimulus deal can be done. Thanks to the election, both parties dug in their heels and refused to pass a deal that might make the other look good right before the election. So there was definitely some posturing going on. You saw it, I saw it, I reported on it. I had hoped that Mnuchin and Pelosi would be mature enough and capable enough to bring a deal to the table, but ultimately that fell apart. Now, it is believed that Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin will begin talks again. I think that the larger deal they're working on, that they will be able to find common ground now that the Senate is saying that they're willing to play and be on board with getting a deal done. Before, they were trying to get the White House and they were trying to get the House of Representatives to work together before going to the Senate. But now they're now that the Senate's on board, the two halves of Congress can come together and hopefully get something sent up to the president. There are many people that are still in dire need of unemployment and a stimulus check, and state and local governments are also in fiscal need. Now, earlier this week, Nancy Pelosi hinted at a way to get stimulus checks through by using a tactic called reconciliation. It's a way to put something to a vote without the need for Congress to have 60 confirming votes in the Senate. She said that she is open to employing this tactic. Pelosi also said that if Democrats win the White House, they will use this same tactic in 2021 to save Obamacare. Republicans used this reconciliation tactic in 2017 to get President Trump's tax cuts through. So it is something that can be done, right? So it's maybe a way for Congress to do an executive order. That's the best way that I've thought to explain that. Now, I'm hoping that they will use it because unemployment, checks to the people, and rental assistance needs to happen fast. These are dominoes that once they start falling are very hard to stop that momentum. There are 20 million Americans still out of work and 25 million Americans behind on rent. So something must be done. Also, rent protection ends on December 31st. Student loan forbearance ends on the 31st. And unemployment for self-employed and gig workers also ends on December 31st. So they need to get something done, right? McConnell is right. They need to get something done. And as I said, leading up to the election, Pelosi has said she's on board to getting something done before the end of the year. So hopefully they can get something done because Mnuchin has said we can get checks out to a large portion of the American people within 1 week. That means if they get something done, we could hopefully see something before Christmas. Oh, my goodness, they have dragged this thing out on both sides. All right. Now, it's not clear whether they will try to go with the $1.9 trillion Republican deal that gives $1,200 to adults and $1,000 to children, or if they'll go with Pelosi's $2.2 trillion deal that gives $1,200 to adults and $500 to kids, but more money to schools and more money to state and local governments. So they're going to have to either come to a compromise and meet in the middle, maybe under that $2 trillion, so that the Senate will stay on board. But either way, that's where we're at right now. So the plan essentially seeks to get money from the same places, but with varying amounts for school, state and local government, and unemployment. In his conference meeting McConnell attended this morning, he did admit for the first time in a long time that state and local governments do need fiscal help. So I think things are starting to head in a good direction. Lastly, McConnell said, we need to get a handle on the coronavirus, or else we will be throwing money at this problem forever. So they really do need to get a handle on this. The situation needs to be handled. So this is my update for today. As I know more, I will share more. But this is a big turn. This is a big turn. So hopefully you found that to be a big turn in the situation as well. I just want to end by reminding you that you are amazing. Please don't forget that. Hopefully they'll figure out all these Senate, House, and presidential race before the end of the week. We're kind of in limbo right now. But anyway, I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.